Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk about addictions. And I feel like as a collective, we are being called to break these things that are keeping us bound, keeping us slaves, things that are keeping us distracted, keeping us unconscious, keeping us unaware, keeping us basically on autopilot where we don't even realize that we're doing what we're doing. Like, there's no, it's just all habitual patterns, and we just do, and we're so unaware that we're even doing it. Or things that numb us, that help us escape from feelings that we do not feel like feeling. Addictions don't have to be substances either. It's interesting that when you bring it up, everybody thinks of heroin, cocaine. It's like there's so many more things that are addictions, like food, internet, phone. I mean, things that you can touch, and so I made a list of all of the addictions that I could think of, and then I never stopped writing. And basically what I realized is anything can be an addiction. You can take anything too far, and an addiction is something that you can't necessarily go without. You're going to have some type of symptom if you do go without it. And you have to have it every day. And things that people consider addictions, like, let's say, the internet, right? You can have an internet addiction. You can be on there all day, every day, mindlessly scrolling, being unconscious, being unaware of what you're doing, just passing the time. Or you can use the internet as a tool. And when you use it as a tool, like what I'm doing today, I'm recording on the internet, but I'm using it as a tool to empower people, to motivate people, to bring up conversations about things that, messages that I get. I just want to expand the conversation. There's enough negativity going on in this world. Came up with sugar, drugs, TV, phone, caffeine, emotionally unavailable people, old patterns, alcohol, sex, porn, adrenaline, meditation, gambling. So, what are addictions, you might ask? Addictions are coping mechanisms that we use to avoid a feeling that we don't want to feel. And addictions really are the byproduct of the coping mechanism. So we use some things, TV, internet, food, whatever, we use it to numb or escape or forget the problem that we have at hand, to distract us, basically. And we just become habitual with it. And the addiction is the habit, basically. So, the substance is not good nor bad in the beginning, or, it's just the addiction, the habit of it, because those things come up and we don't necessarily want to face them. So we, whether we don't have time to face them, because a lot of people have a lot going on in their schedule, So we don't want to face them, or we don't have time to face them, or we don't feel like we can face them. So we avoid them, escape them, numb them, push them down, whatever we got to do temporarily to get that out of the way, because we don't want to deal with it right now. Well, you can only have so many temporaries. And then you're depending on it, you know what I mean? And then you realize that you're doing it and don't even realize that you went down and sat down on the couch and are watching TV now. And you don't realize that you're gaming again. You're just sitting in your room, it's quiet, and instead of reflecting on how your day's been or whatever the case may be, you unconsciously go over and turn on the game system and you're playing a game, It's just, it's the being unaware also. So, how do you heal an addiction? Well, you have to get rid of the reason for the addiction. You have to really go within yourself and find out, what am I trying to avoid feeling? What am I trying to escape? What am I trying to numb? What's deep down in there that I'm trying to find that's making me have to temporarily escape from these feelings? So the really fun part of breaking an addiction is you can't escape it. You can't run from it. And so the storm's coming, and here's you running in front of the storm, and you're trying to escape it because you don't want to face the storm. You don't want to deal with the storm, right? You know, it's too much. You don't have time. All the reasons that there are. And so the storm's coming, and you're, temporarily numbing, temporarily escaping, temporarily this, temporarily that. And eventually, if you want to break the addiction, you have to face the storm. And it's not pretty, right? It's a storm. But storms are actually beautiful, right? And so you have to face the storm, and you have to grow through the storm, and you have to realize what's making you run. And is escaping and numbing really solving the problem? Because the storm's still chasing you. I can't remember who said it. You have to go through the rain to get to the rainbow. So you have to face the inner demons within you. You have to face the issues that are causing you to try to escape, or the feelings that are trying to make you escape. Now, I'm no doctor or medical professional, but I have steps that I have taken that have really helped me overcome things that I was addicted to every day. Like, for instance, caffeine. I didn't realize how much caffeine I consumed in a day until I tried to not take caffeine anymore. And the headaches are real, y'all. First thing that I had to do was understand that there was some type of feeling that I was trying to avoid. So for me, I felt the tiredness, right? And I didn't like the feeling of being tired. And so I would take, energy drinks. I would drink coffee. I would take goodie powders that have caffeine in them. And I didn't even realize that. So let me tell you, I was really... drink Cokes all day. And when I say Cokes, I don't mean I drink, I guess, different brands of Cokes. I call everything a Coke. And I know that there's pops, sodas, what else is there? Carbonated beverages. What does something bubbly beverage, or I can't remember what that one's called. But I call everything Coke. And it doesn't mean I drink Coca-Cola. I might drink, who knows. So then you need to admit to yourself what you're trying to avoid. So I had to admit, I didn't even realize I didn't like the tired feeling. It was an automatic response. I feel tired, go grab caffeine. That's what's gonna pump me up. And then you crash, and then you're like, okay, I've got that tired feeling. I'm trying to avoid it. Just be honest with yourself. Just, you don't have to tell the whole world about your addiction. Be honest with yourself and just be no matter what it is. I'm using caffeine as an example because it's the most innocent one on the list, and a lot of people can relate to it. But, no matter what the addiction is, you have to admit to yourself that there is a problem, and that you are trying to escape this certain feeling. Whether it's alcohol, whether it's heroin, cocaine, whatever it is, whether it's food, there's all, like I said, there's all kinds of addictions. There's no right or wrong in any of this, or heavy, or I don't know how to explain it, but there's no... Does everybody know what I'm saying? There's no judgment there, whether an addiction's an addiction. The other part of what I did was really imagine the person that I wanted to be. And I wanted to get up in the mornings and not be tired, not be sluggish, and also I always felt dehydrated. As weird as that sounds, when I drink water now, you do just feel better, okay? You do have more energy. It's true. It's like you don't have those crash and falls. It's more consistent energy throughout the day. It's not tons of energy, crash, pick me back up, crash, all of that. But anyways, another tangent. You have to start thinking about the person that you want to become and what that looks like. Sorry, my hair. What that looks like. And so I wanted to be an energetic person. I wanted someone that can make YouTube videos every day or consistently. My goal for my first month was every day for March 2023. And so far I've achieved that and I'm very proud of myself. But I needed energy. I don't need to be on these videos just sluggish like womp, 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 or a robot or whatever. I need consistent energy. What does that look like? Well, that's someone that eats right. That's someone that gets up and starts moving. That's someone that meditates. That's someone that nurtures their body, right? And so I really started thinking of who I want to become and what kind of traits that type of person would exhibit. And that's, and there was a whole list, like that's just part of it. But if you start thinking about it, you slowly start becoming it. It's really kind of strange how that works, but it works. And so you start thinking, I'm an energetic person. You kind of start not wanting Cokes anymore. You're like, yeah, I'm an energetic person, and that doesn't align with energetic person. And you'll just find yourself drinking water naturally, which is, like I said, it's amazing how this works. But imagine the person, okay, let's say your addiction is heroin. Imagine the person that's not addicted to heroin. How would they look? Like, what are they doing? Are they thriving? Are they around people? They're not isolated. Are they in groups? Are they changing the world? Are they, working? What do they look like? Are they hydrated? Are they happy? Are they fulfilled? And start thinking, how can I get there? Like, how can I be completely different than I am? Surprise people. Make them be like, what the heck just happened? Like, he was tired, he was sluggish, he was this and that. Like, he's taking on the world right now. Like, that's what it's all about, to empower other people, to motivate other people. But in order to do that, you have to break the addictions that we have, right? And also, we need to break addictions anyway because they have control over us, and we don't want anything to have control over us, right? It's like if a person has a TV addiction and they watch TV 8 hours a day or more than that, let's say they watch it all day, they stay at home and watch TV all day long. Well, let's say that the person that they want to become runs marathons. You got to start thinking, what's a person that runs a marathon look like? Well, they're going to get up early in the morning. They're going to train. They're going to be dedicated. They're going to be disciplined. They're going to be routine. They're going to be structured. They're going to eat right. You're not going to have time to be the person that watches umpteen hours of TV because you're busy being a better version of you. Also, I wanted to go over one other thing, and that is if your addiction is a trigger, if you're trying to numb a childhood trigger, a childhood wound that you have. And so you're trying to escape it, you're trying to numb it, suppress it, whatever the case may be, but it stems from your childhood. The best thing that I have found to work for me is to reparent myself when those situations come up. And so what I mean by that, if there's a situation and you're triggered, and let's say abandonment, okay, someone's going to abandon you, and you're scared, you feel powerless, you latch on to that because you don't want to lose whatever you're losing. Sit with the child, okay? So your inner child is speaking, and it's like, oh no, they're leaving me. What am I going to do? I'm going to be so alone. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to survive, blah, blah, blah. And so your inner child is going frantic because you're about to lose somebody that you really love and you don't want to lose them, right? You feel that abandonment wound coming on that you had when you were little. So sit with that child, realize that is your inner child coming up. And I picture angels hugging me. And I have 2 of them, and they hug me and they embrace me and they tell me, it's okay. I'm here with you. You were never alone. You always have your guides, you always have your angels, you always have your ancestors, you always have a line directly to the divine. You're not alone. You're not alone. And there's all kinds of people in this world, and this is a good way to connect. But you are not alone. And I just hug my inner child, and I love her, and I embrace her, and I tell her that everything's okay. You're fine. Like, you're protected. You are safe. You are loved in so many ways. Like, you know, you have a gift to reach people, and you can help humanity and empower. So it's important that you are here. And I want everybody to remember, this is how I nurture my inner child, but we are all here to like help humanity and to raise the vibration and to do good. There's so many ways that we can to spread love. But anyways, that's another tangent. I really nurture my inner child and let her know she's safe, and I feel better after that. And I just kind of reframe the memory and, you know, let them. So there may have been a time that my parents were going to leave me, and I thought, oh gosh, what am I going to do? I'm not going to survive. I'm powerless. And when I reframe it, I just remember how loved I am, how safe I am, how nurtured I am, how cared for, how important, all of those things, and that I'm, going to make a difference. And so I love myself. I love my inner child, and I sit with her as long as she needs me to sit with her, because sometimes it's a big deal and it's going to take a little longer, and that's okay. We're as much time as she needs is how much time we take. And then sometimes, she just light bulb hits and she's like, you know what? I am loved, and and it gets easier with time, but there's definitely times that you have to sit a while, but I give her as much time as she needs because she's safe with me, right? I'm not going nowhere, and I wait till she feels whole and complete and loved and can radiate again, and then she's okay to go back and go be on her own, and as the parent, I'm good to be away. But it's just those reassurance times sometimes that you have to know. But when you have a trigger come up and you find that you're using some type of addiction to numb out the pain, and it's a childhood response, when the trigger comes back up, a way to handle it is to reparent the inner child and let the child know it's okay. You're not being abandoned. You're not being left. You're fine. Like, your basic needs are going to be met. Not even your basic needs, all your needs are going to be met, right? You are loved. And so the more you practice that and reframe those memories, so when you go back to your childhood, you remember you weren't alone, you were loved, then it helps not have to depend on a substance to numb or escape. It's basically facing that storm. Also, surrounding yourself with supportive people, even if it's not your immediate family, try to find support groups, because when you are around other people, it's almost as though you're more accountable. You're not gonna, you have people, and when I say surround yourself with supportive people, I mean people that got your back, you know what I mean, and that will hold you accountable in a good way and be like, no, you're a better version of you. I am not gonna let you go down this path. Like, you are so much more capable of so many things in this world, and you got this. You got this. You are powerful. You are strong. If anybody can do it, you can do it. And we are strong beings. We got this. Like, that addiction is nothing on what we can do. We are immense, great, divine beings. And you got this, so you can break this addiction. I have full and complete trust in you that you can break this addiction with no problem, because that's how strong we are as humans. We can break any chain, right? We just have to set our mind to it, our body to it, our spirit to it, get it all aligned so nobody's conflicted in here. Because when you have your mind saying one thing and your body wants it, your mind's like, no, I can't, it's an addiction, it's doing making me go down the wrong road, but my body's like, I need it, I crave it, I've gotten used to it. That's conflict. And you're never going to, you know, you're always going to have that clash, that good and bad, that yes and no, like go do it, don't do it. And it's too much conflict, it's not in alignment. But once you get your mind, your body, and your spirit all in alignment, the addictions go away. They go away. You no longer need them because you've faced the storm. You have walked through that storm, son. Anyways, if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video. Mwah.